You're listening live to Mixed Metal Media, hosted by Metal Mistress C on Spreaker.com. Well, hello. Tonight's show is live as can be. Mistress hasn't done a live show in quite some time. So the band that I'm going to be interviewing tonight is actually called Lacerated Within, and they are from Texas area. I think Dallas, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe Southern Texas. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look at their bio that they just sent me like a couple weeks ago. But anyway, on a quick note, tomorrow, if you're in the Bethpage, Long Island, New York area, Mr. Beery's is having six bands tomorrow, for a tribute for Donnie Kirkowski, who is the main fella who started all the metal bands at Mr. Beery's. Unfortunately, he had passed away last year, and they're doing a tribute for him, the Ramones tribute, Lust for Life, Jones Crusher, Demon Scar, the Hasbros, and Donut City is starting at 8:30 tomorrow night at 4019 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage, and I will be there announcing for 3 bands, and there's someone else, this guy Sean, who's going to be announcing for some of the other bands. And it's going to be a happening evening, and if you like punk and metal, you definitely want to go to that. So anyway, tonight's band, Lacerated Within, they were formed in 2023 with a variety of unique metal influences and experience levels throughout by each member. All of their music is 100% original, and their influences can be heard in everything they play, from Slayer to Pantera to Cold Chamber to Fear Factory and many more. It says, we are making our mark locally in our hometowns in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and have started branching out to San Marcos, Texas, and Oklahoma. In 2024, we are working to melt faces in Louisiana, New Mexico, and southern Texas. So if you like Slayer and Pantera, I highly recommend listening to them. I'm going to play you one of their songs right now. It's called Cold Dead Hands. And you guys are going to this song's going to melt your face off. Hold on.
I have only 5 words for you. From my cold, dead hands.
I wanna go dirty hands. You can't trample all my freedoms, all my fucking rights, just because you say you can.
Well, that was fucking excellent. I have a lot of questions for them when I talk to them, actually. I'm going to be calling them in a few minutes. I got to figure out how to do group call here. Let's see. I got a message from Armando. What did he have to say? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So I guess he's going to do that, or he's going to do... I guess he's going to call me, or I'm going to call him. We'll figure this out. I'm going to say, that works. Hold on. He just messaged me now. I'm going to say, okay, so you going to call? He's going to call Ghostbusters. In about 3 minutes. I'm just texting with one of the guys right now who is Armando, who is the guitarist. They call him Riffin' Mando. It's kind of funny. I met this band on TikTok probably, I don't know, about a month or two ago, maybe, something like that. We were chit-chatting, and I checked them out, and I really liked them. And at the time, their website wasn't up. Now it's up. And I just pulled some of their stuff off YouTube, and they're a groove metal band. So they're actually fantastic. I really like them a lot. Groove metal, new metal, I don't know, but not N-E-U, it's N-U metal. So groove is like here, I'll give you an example of groove. Like Prong is a groove metal band. Hardcore punk, well, hardcore band, kind of. Groove metal band, let's see, groove metal. We got groove metal, sometimes also called neo-thrash or post-thrash, is a subgenre of heavy metal music that began in the early 90s, heavily influenced by thrash metal. Pantera is actually a groove metal band. And it's kind of interesting. Pantera and Slayer and Fear Factory and Cold Chamber are like big influences for Lacerated Within. And tonight we're going to have Armando, who plays guitar. I think Miranda is their female bass player, and another guy, Paul. I'm not sure what he plays. I'm not sure if he sings or he's the drummer. I'm not exactly sure what his in the band is. So we'll ask him when he's on the show, actually. So let's see. Let's see if I can get them on the phone here. I'm going to try to call them in a hot minute or two. Mistress is trying to get my phone in call mode. Let's see. Let's try to find Armando here after I just played you their lovely song. So let's see. How do we do this? I'm going to try him first. Connect the first call. Let's see. Hold on. Gotta wait for him to answer. Oh, he's you guys are listening, so I guess you're a vocalist. Hello, Armando.
Hello.
Hi. So, listen, I'm going to try to connect Miranda and Paul right now. So, I'm going to add them to this call, okay?
All right.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I'm doing this correctly. Hold on. One. I'm not telling their numbers out loud. So, I'm typing them in quietly. We don't want your fans to be harassing you. So wait, I'm going to add her. Let's see if this works. You're still there, so let's see. What happened? Ugh. All right, so for some reason I can't add her. Hold on a second. Let me try this again. Dial to add call. So 682. Hold on. 772. I'm trying to figure out how to add her. Hold on a second. Oh, I think I got her right number here. Yeah. Oh, 7. Let's see how this works. Let's see. Hold on. Are you still there?
Hello?
Hello, Miranda? Hold on a second. I gotta merge the two calls together. Hold on. Okay. Armando and Miranda, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna go. Now I'm gonna add in. I'm gonna add in Paul. And what is he? He sings, Paul.
Yes, he's the singer.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I'm like, because I'm not. I know who Miranda and you are. I'm just not sure of anybody else. So,
He's just the vocalist.
okay, so hold on. I'm gonna add him in. Hold on a second.
Okay.
It's been a while since I did a group call, so you have to excuse me. Hold on a second. Figure's a woman, right? Hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, this is his number. 1. I don't say numbers out loud to protect your identities. Hold on. You don't want.
No, we're not that interesting. At least I'm not that interesting.
Wait, hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna add him in. Hold on. All right, let's see if he answers. Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Okay, all right. Now I think I have Paul, Miranda, and Armando in attendance this evening, correct?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is. It is.
Oh, I finally did it right. Holy macaroni. So listen, before I actually called you guys, I don't know if you guys were listening, but I played your song Cold Dead Hands.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Actually, one of my friends, when I was talking to him briefly, I said, oh, I gotta go do my show. I said, and actually I sent him the link for it. And he was like, nice. He goes, oh, that's a Clint Eastwood reference or something. Right? From my Cold Dead Hands?
Actually, it's a Charlton Heston NRA quote from when he was talking about them trying to steal guns, take guns from him.
Oh, okay. So that, well, I thought it was somebody like that, but I think Clint Eastwood also does that too. Or he had said it in a movie or something.
I could see that.
I mean, look, if you like Gran Torino, then you would understand.
Oh, I love that movie. Excellent.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, mine too. I just say he has such character in that movie.
Oh, you did.
Okay, so you guys are from the band Lacerated Within, and you guys sound very Pantera-ish, I have to say. Pantera, I hear a lot of Slayer influences in there. Cold Chamber and Fear Factory, correct?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, okay. So now you guys only formed this band last year, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, around that time.
How did you guys find each other to play in a band? Can I ask that question?
Armando, that is you. So I've been trying to form a band for a while, and I've been looking, and eventually, one of our former singers hit up Miranda,
Okay.
and it was the two that so originally there was a different singer, Mark's been in it the whole time.
Okay.
Miranda came along, and then when we had to find a new singer, we found Paul.
Okay.
Well, they already knew me because I'd been doing my podcast on Wednesday nights, promoting local music shows and bands.
Okay.
And when I found out that the Shannon was gone, I was like, "Hey, let me try."
Why, was that something you didn't like? You're like, no.
Oh, no. I liked the band. I did, but the former singer has a tainted personality, we'll say.
Okay. Yeah, I've come across some people like that in my life. It's like, yeah, no.
That's a fairly decent description.
A tainted
I
personality.
was being very nice.
I know. I'm proud of you. But yeah, Armando, he came down to Texas a few years ago. Mm-hmm. He's not native down here. He's actually from New York.
Yeah, I know. Actually, he told me he's from Middletown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
yeah, he moved down here from New York and moved right in the middle of DFW and just started going out to all the metal shows that he could find and just getting into the scene and supporting the scene and telling everybody for years, one of these days I'm going to have a band.
And look what happened. It came true, right?
And here the fuck we are.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, actually, Armando and I met on TikTok. I don't know if he told you guys that. And I had, talked to him, and he was like, so we scheduled this like a while ago. We just kind of, were waiting to the actual day.
Yeah, I remember talking about it, yeah.
Okay. So you're the only female in the band, correct?
Last time I checked.
All right. So, unless nobody's had a sex change operation in the past couple of weeks.
Not yet.
I'm only kidding.
My pronouns are now ass and hole.
Now?
Yes.
I think those are all of our pronouns.
What were they before that? Fucked hard? No, I'm only kidding.
Oh my god, I love that.
I'm sorry. Listen, I like to have fun too. I'm only kidding.
Just to be correct, it was fuck and knuckle before that.
Okay, fuck knuckle. Okay. So, okay, now, Armando was the youngest of the band, correct?
He be the baby.
He's the baby, yeah. I think he told me how old he was. But
we're not going there. We're not going there.
But age doesn't matter, I'll tell you, because if you're all in, like, all right, this is what I tell all the bands that come on the show. A band is like having a marriage, okay? You are married to the band, regardless of how old you are, how, devoted you are. The band usually comes first besides families, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So with that being said...
absolutely.
Yes. Now, do you guys have families also besides your band?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
once in a while, sometimes my parents will come visit down. Like one of the previous shows we played earlier this month, my mom was visiting, and then my very first time on stage, our debut last year, both my parents came down and visited.
Oh, that's cool. And your parents are supportive of you guys?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, they're so supportive. They're amazing.
That's good. You want that. You don't want these like annoying parents going, my child's in a devil worshiper band.
That's the devil's music.
You're playing the devil's music.
My mom's tried saying that, but she knows she says it. She can't say it with a straight face, so
You're tearing the soul out of me.
Oh.
You know what? Listen, you want to hear a funny story? I'm heavily into Pantera, so when I was about, 14, 15, I got like one of their albums. And I remember playing it, and my dad he bangs on my door and he goes, I gotta tell you, that's some heavy shit you're listening to. And I said, yeah, Dad. Well, then a year later, he goes hunting with his guy friends, comes banging on my door. He's like, can I borrow that CD you had that you played that time? My dad actually took Pantera, Megadeth, and Metallica to when he went hunting with his guy friends.
God.
So look at that, right? My father was expanding his musical horizon.
I love that. That is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool when your family actually, like, you know, listens to the same type of music you do. You know what I mean? It just makes it for everyone to get along much better. That's what I think. God. So, all right. So, are you guys making like an album, or like what are you guys doing as far as you have like a bunch of singles out? Is that what is going on, or you have an EP?
We're slowly creating singles, and then eventually, once we have enough of them together, we will do an SP and then an EP.
Okay, gotcha. What you want to tell our listeners? What's the difference? An SP is just single, right?
SP, it means short play, so it doesn't have as many songs as a full album, which is an EP, which means extended play.
Okay, gotcha. Because some people are like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's better if you guys explain it. So, yeah.
If people are old enough, we can go back to the day of 45s, and that would be an SP.
Oh, I love 45s. I wish they still made those. You know, when they stopped making them, me and my brother actually took a bunch of them and, like, played Frisbee with a couple and, like, shot at them and, like, did, like, you know, like, kinds of stuff. Hey, listen, I'm old enough to remember 8-tracks, so...
Yeah, I remember 8-track in a car.
Exactly. Armando's like, what the fuck's an 8-track?
He probably said, what the fuck's a 45?
Exactly.
That's a gun, isn't it?
He thinks it's a gun. So here's a question for all of you, and you could answer, you know, at your leisure. What first got you into music? Or who got you into music?
Ooh, that's an old question.
I know.
And I would have to probably say my love of Iron Maiden and Kiss as a child.
That's cool. That's a good answer. The Kiss Army? Why not, right?
But it was mainly Maiden because Eddie was badass.
Oh, yeah, he's still badass. God. Yeah. What about you, Miranda?
My parents were like, oh, the devil is in the kid. I'm like, no, it's not the devil. It's freaking good metal.
When I was a kid, like in grade school, Metallica really stuck out. Ozzy, of course, but Metallica really stuck out as a kid. Not Megadeth so much back then, but I kept listening. I didn't really hear what really truly grabbed me until later on in life. And I found these guys, you know, a little later. I found my 17 Pantera.
Yep.
I heard Pantera, and even though Metallica is the ones that first turned me on to the love of metal,
right?
Pantera was the first band. I mean, that's the sound and the feel that I've been looking for.
Well, I couldn't
find it. They just had that anger and that rage that I had, and they just grabbed it the way it needed to be grabbed.
Have you ever seen Pantera live?
I have seen them twice.
Okay, good. Actually, you know, it's funny. I just gave my son, my older son, who's about 30 years old, I gave him a drumstick that was what me and my friends caught at a Pantera show, and it had Vinnie Paul's autograph on it. I actually just gave that to him for Easter, believe it or not. It was in my closet for eons, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Gave it to my son, because my son is a big Pantera fan. So that was kind of cool. He was like, oh my God, like, because, you know, it's like a highly sort of collectible now, you know? So,
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's why. Whenever you gave you said that you hear a Pantera vibe. That's why I kind of reacted the way I did, because for me they're like the ultimate.
Oh yeah,
untouchable.
Oh, I remember the first time when I ever heard them. I think I was like 14 or 15, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" Like, and then like you know, I of course liked them, and that's when my dad was banging on my door and goes, "Holy fuck, what the fuck are you listening to?" I think actually the first album, not Cowboys from Hell. I think I had a Vulgar Display of Power, and that album is like, God, you know, like I could still listen to it now and think back to when I was a teenager. That's how awesome it is.
Yeah,
it's like I can't remember what year they started.
I want to say like, well, before they were actually like. the heavy Pantera. Pantera was a glam metal band.
Oh yeah, they had like 5 albums, like
Pantera start.
Power Metal.
Yeah, I think Pantera, like, what was it, 80?
What year did Pantera start?
What's
I think it
that?
was like 81, and
Yeah.
then I think their first album was like 83.
That's correct. Yep.
Was it?
Yes. That's when they had their glam metal bands before they were like Vulgar Display of Power and Cowboys from Hell.
Yep, they are 81.
81, see? Yep. They are around a long time. Of course, now it's a revisited version of them, but, yeah. And, Armando, what music you like? What was the thing that got you kind of started?
Well, I was always into multiple different kinds of genres of metal, but I think when I was in middle school, I first heard it because a friend that listened to it and his dad listened to it was like Merciful Fate and King Diamond.
Oh, I love that. Merciful Fate and King Diamond is one of my favorites. Actually, I was telling my friend earlier today that every year on Good Friday, I wake up and the first thing I put on is Nuns Have No Fun. What's that?
Getting into like old school death metal while I was in high school, and then I also started getting into like Pantera. And then I think where I really found my calling and like the style I want to play is when I started discovering like Soulfly and Fear Factory.
Yes. I suppose you like Sepultura also.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you like Soulfly, you have to like Sepultura.
Yeah. Old school Sepultura.
Yeah.
It had Max.
Yeah, not this.
Sepultura was my first heavy metal concert.
Really?
Ozzy Osbourne, it was Ozzy, Sepultura, and Typo Negative in Tennessee.
Oh,
Yep.
Typo Negative, his anniversary's coming up soon, Peter Steele, in a couple of weeks. But, no, that's cool. Listen, those are all good things. So, now, who inspired, besides, like, musicians, did anybody in your family inspire you to play music or kind of help you with your music choices of what instruments you wanted to play? Or sing, or any of that nature?
Well, when I was all through school, like in grade school and through high school and even middle school, I was in choir and I worked on my voice a lot.
Oh,
But I sang with people. I can sing with people, or the music's loud enough to where nobody can really hear me. My ex-husband of 24 years is a guitarist up in Colorado.
okay.
And I would tinker around with his guitars every now and then, just for shits and giggles. And I really didn't like it. I don't like the way the strings felt. And I don't like picks. And one night over at his old bassist's house, he put a guitar in my lap to hold it while he went to go take a piss or whatever. And I started, and his bassist saw me plucking the guitar, and she was like, "Holy fuck!" And she jumped up and she took that Jackson out of my hand and she threw one of her basses in my hand, like, quick as fuck. And from the minute that that was the first time I held a bass, and I was in love immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the sound of the low end,
Right.
but that was the first time I'd actually laid hands on one, and I was just all about it. I was in love.
It's interesting, and Armando will probably laugh about this. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, you guys are from Texas, so do you know the band Annihilator?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I interviewed their bass player, singer, I forget his name, Alex Dominguez, and him and I had a funny story about, because he actually started out as a guitarist, and he said that he just couldn't, like what Miranda said, he just couldn't really, like, fuck around with the guitar too much. So I made a joke, and I said to him, it's true, a lot of really good bass players are failed guitarists. And he laughed, and he's like, "Oh, I never thought about that." It's the truth. Think about it. Basses are still considered guitars. They're just bass guitars. And they have either 4 or 5 strings, usually. Or I've heard of ones with other strings on them. But
I've seen ones with 6 and 7.
yeah, I've seen 6 and 7 also. So, but majority of bass is usually 4 and 5 strings, right? So if you want to get technical and you want to, like, call yourself a real guitarist, you could play bass also, right?
Yeah.
But most people who don't want to be bothered with the guitar, they usually play bass. And think about it, the bass player of the band is the one that keeps up, like, the tempo for the most part, besides the drummer.
We locked in together with the drummer as a bass player.
Well, exactly. So exactly. I give guitarists a lot of credit, but the bass player is the one that really kind of holds the shit together. Think about it.
We hold the balls of the band.
That's correct.
Everybody balls.
Yeah.
Armando's like, he's quiet over there. Nothing personal towards you, kiddo. You know that.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
But it was funny.
I actually started on guitar in '86, and then got tired of looking for a bass player that wouldn't just ride a root note, so I gave it up and started playing bass.
Okay.
Because it was frustrating. Everybody would come in and just be like hitting the first root note of every chord. Like, no, you gotta do more than that. You can't just be a fucking a note killer.
Yeah.
So I ended up playing bass for a lot of bands.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because most bass players in general, you're right, they only know like certain things. And I think for them, they're not comfortable playing their instrument. So they kind of only stick with what they know. They're not willing to go outside the extra chords.
Gotta go outside the box.
That's correct. So, I give Miranda a lot of credit. Actually, when I first checked out your band, I said, holy fuck, there's a girl in the band. And, I love that because, I'm a woman myself. And, I like to see a lot more women in metal nowadays, honestly. And I think a lot of the female players are way better than their male counterparts.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know that I'm gonna learn a few things from my singer, and that I keep telling him, I keep reminding him he's not having my fucking job.
What's that?
I would not steal the job. I've just got a few more years experience under the belt. I can show you tricks.
A couple more years, yeah.
Well, you guys have been in a band for about a year together, correct?
I'm probably at the 6 or 8 month mark, something like that.
Oh, that's cool. So you guys get along fairly well when you're like playing songs and shit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just like family, get pissed off at each other sometimes, get aggravated, laugh, get aggravated at everybody else and vent, we're family.
Yeah, but but you got to take that anger and make really good music out of it. That's what you got to do.
Miranda's basically the band mom, keeps us out of trouble.
Who's that?
Yeah,
Miranda? Oh, you're the band mom, Miranda?
Yeah, Armando dubbed me the band mom.
Everybody's got to kind of keep an eye on Mondo.
Why is that? He's younger
He's a
than you
crazy
guys.
little fucker.
Oh, okay. So wait, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you guys?
I am older than sin.
No, seriously, how old are you?
I'm 53.
Oh, you're not that old. I mean, old to me is like 60. Come on. You're only a couple of
7 years away from that.
Yes, but. As long as he can
I don't
stand...
even think 60's that old. I just was joking.
Oh.
When I was Mondo's age, I thought 50 was ancient.
Oh, listen, listen, when I was 18, I thought 50 was 100 years old, too. But no joke, all shits and giggles aside, I'm going to be 49 this summer. So, listen, it's, I'm almost that age where I thought was ancient, if you catch my drift.
Oh, yeah.
So, and, well, that's good. And how old are the other people that are in your band?
I am 46. I just turned 46 this...
oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, I wished you a happy birthday on Facebook.
Thank you. I forgot which month we were in.
Yeah, your birthday was in
last month.
March? Yeah, March.
Yeah.
Yeah, March.
Miranda, you smoking the Chiba?
Not yet, I'm talking.
Listen,
Puffing on the devil's lettuce again?
You could do whatever you want while you're on the show. I was partaking in that activity before I called you guys. So.
I I was texting the guys before we jumped on. I was like, my phone's almost fucking dead. I was like 17%. So my everything else is in the other part of the house. So yeah.
Yeah, I mistaken it for hour ahead instead of hour behind the time zones.
Yeah, listen, I figured you were a little, it's okay, it's fine. Yeah, because you guys are an hour behind me, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so right now it's like 8:30, so it's like 7:30 your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get confused about that too, youngin', so relax, it's fine. And I'm older than you. So here's some fun stuff. So how would you guys describe the music that you typically create? Like, I know you guys are like a groove metal band, right?
Somewhere along those lines. We're kind of a mix of several types of genres, but I think if you had to describe it with one, that's
Lacerated metal.
What's that?
Lacerated metal.
Lacerated metal, correct.
we when anybody asks about what genre or what type of metal we play, I just tell them I don't put ourselves in a box like that.
Right.
I tell them, if you want to put us in a box, you listen to us and then tell us where you think we should go.
Okay.
But we have different influences. I mean, there's four of us.
Right.
We have different influences coming into the music and from all different kind of metal genres and subgenres and stuff, and to just stick with, we have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of Slayer in you guys, which is heavy metal. I hear Pantera, which is definitely groove metal. Then you got like Cold Chamber, who is like, like new metal to some degree, right? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Yep.
For example,
and what's
one
that?
of our newer songs that we're gonna be releasing soon. It's our self-titled one. It sounds fairly different from Cold Dead Hands.
Okay. I'm dying to hear.
It's actually in a lower tuning, and it's got like the beginning riff has kind of more like a Korn vibe.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
But then it switches to like, I don't know how you describe it.
That's great. I love it. You're like, I don't know how to describe it. It's fucking metal, man.
One song we recorded down in drop G sharp.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm you gotta let me know when it comes out. I'll play it on the air. Because I have, like, my metal show is all different genres of metal, usually. So I have everything from heavy, thrash, death, black metal, fucking... Recently, yesterday, I think I had, like, a hard rock, like, kind of band on. I mean, the only things I do not delve in is, like, hip-hop, freestyle, and I say hip-hop for a reason, because they need hope, all the hope they can fucking get. And, like, and I don't do any country bumpkin shit or any of that. I'm strictly a metal and punk lady, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hip-hop, I gotta be nice. I ain't sing, I have no nursery rhyme bands on, that's for sure. No nursery rhymes. So,
how long have you been doing your show?
Well, interesting. I'll tell you a little background about me, if you will. I'm a semi-retired dominatrix. So, think about this.
That's Mistress of Metal.
That's correct. I've been in the radio since 2011. My first radio that I ever done was I was the resident dominatrix on a heavy metal radio show that was based out of Florida, and it was sponsored by Sam Ash Music. So that was my first radio thing that I ever did, and that was like over a decade ago. And then after that, I did my own thing on 365 Live, where I had, like, I don't know, these, like, porn star friends of mine who started a network. You probably have heard of, like, Evan Stone and, like, Ron Jeremy and all those guys.
Well, yeah, Ron Jeremy.
Okay, well, I was on a network.
Super Mario porn stars.
So I was on a porn network with them. I was the only dominatrix on a porn radio site. And I only did fetish shows at that time, like, discussing, like, different aspects of BDSM and fetishes and, exploring kink with my viewers and listeners at the time. And then after that, I kind of went to another bunch of porn stars picked me up, and I was continuing education on that under a different radio station. And then in 2018, I started to work for, independently for ASN, and they did ASN Underground, and actually Joe Rogan was on that network with us. And, but at the time, I was starting to interview bands for ASN. So I guess since 2018, I was interviewing bands. So, and then I just kind of started doing it for myself probably like last year. But I've been always doing like things in the nature of stuff, So
I was curious to when you started this show. That's because I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, no, I did it. I started it last year actually. So yeah. But it's funny. I don't do a lot of like video because I get a lot of different like callers from different places, and a lot of people don't want to go on video. I mean, I don't know. My whole thing is I'm kind of old school. I think people with podcasts like to listen either when they're, either taking a shower or they're, driving in their car. Some people listen to me when they're working out at the gym, so I mean, I'm kind of like old school oriented where I kind of like just doing an audio podcast because then you can listen to it at your leisure and not have to like be stuck to the screen. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, with the way video casting is going today, you can do both at the same time. They can either watch the video or just listen to audio from where it's at. That's what I'm doing. I have I do a show called Unleash the Music on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
And it goes across YouTube and Facebook and Rumble. But you can either tune in and just listen to the audio, or you can watch the video.
Now, what do you do on your videos? I was
actually going to suggest to you, if you wanted to promote your show, you're more than welcome to jump up on Wednesday night on the panel and tell everybody, drop some links, and get people over, some butts in your seats.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, if you could show me or give me some links or whatever, like tell me where it is, and I'll go check it out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, well, in the text message, I'll send you the YouTube link. That's the quickest way.
Okay. Well, here, why don't you talk about your show a little bit? What do you do on your show? Besides, you do interviews also?
Well, there's interviews, but basically, what I do is I find shows that are coming up, okay, and find the bands. If I can find videos on YouTube, or get in contact with the band and get their videos, play them on that show prior to theirs coming up. And then allow them to also jump up on the stream,
right?
And tell people about the band, make bad jokes, and offend people if we can.
Listen, my show has no filter. You could curse, you could do whatever you want. See, I used to be on YouTube, but they flagged me a few times because I had some really heinous shit on my show back in the day.
Yeah, if you have anything thorny, they'll flag you like a big dog there.
Oh, I know. Believe me, it happened to me many a times. Actually, I think one of my accounts had 3 strikes, and I was out after that. So, I mean,
I have to watch out for people I bring up. I got to vet them in the back room first to make sure they're not going to jump up and porn bomb me. Because even if a guest does it, I get the strike. No,
well, that's exactly what was happening to me. Also, I had people going into this room when I did like a YouTube live, and they were writing all kinds of things, and it's just, some of it got me in trouble, and it wasn't even me. At the time, I think I was doing a channel, I was talking about sexual education, and I was doing a show about dildos, I think it was, and just even sitting there showing, like, not that I was using it, but like, telling people about it, they fucking flagged my account, YouTube. So, like, and I wasn't even doing anything dirty with it. So, like, to me, it was like, it was just...
Yeah, they frown on that content.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why I stopped doing that type of stuff, if you catch my drift. So,
yeah.
There's times and places for everything, as they would say.
Exactly. But I like what you're doing here, helping promote the music scene, getting the interviews going on with the bands. That's good stuff.
And I promote a lot of local music, actually, too. Like, tomorrow night, there's this, I was telling Armando a couple of times when I spoke to him on the phone, there's this local bar around here called Mr. Beery's in Bethpage, New York, and every Friday and Saturday night, they have local bands there. Like, last week I went, I saw, there's a Primus tribute band called Pudding Time. And, I mean, I'm a big Primus fan. I've seen Primus like maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times in my life. And I gotta tell you, this fucking band was fucking amazing. Like, if you were to, like, close your eyes, you would think you were at a Primus concert. I'm not even kidding. Like, some of these fucking actual tribute bands do a fucking phenomenal fucking job. So, tomorrow night, I'm actually going back because, a couple of my friends are in this Ramones tribute band and Lust for Life, which is an Iggy Pop Stooges tribute band. And there's also a bunch of original bands going, like Long Island bands. Like my friend Danny plays drums in these other 2 bands, as well as his punk band called Jones Crusher. They've been around for like 30 years. And then there's a Long Island heavy metal band, which is on TikTok, named Demon Scar. They're playing tomorrow, as well as this 2 other bands. I think one of them is called Donut City. Don't ask me why their name is called that, but that's what it's called. And the other one is the Hasbros. So, and these are all like punk bands, except for one metal band that's playing tomorrow. And I'm actually announcing 3 of the bands tomorrow. So
I have a recommendation for you. It sounds like it's right up your alley.
What's that?
Band around here, they're called Mondo Bizarros.
I've heard of them,
They are a Ramones tribute band with Blondie.
Really?
This girl, Star Daniels, she does the Blondie part. And then, yeah, it's Ramone, and you know how Blondie was so involved with the Ramones, right?
Yes. I actually saw Blondie one year on my birthday, like about 6 years ago.
Yeah, they're pulling off a good rendition of that. So if you can look them up on Facebook or something, that'd probably be a great interview for you. I know Star would be all about it.
Oh, I would love to have them on. If you could, give them my information, that's even cooler. But, that would be, because I do a lot of, like, tribute bands, too, because think about it. I mean, look, here's in particular. Pantera, as we know, was dismembered until recently. Like, then they kind of came back, and they have, Zakk Wylde with them. But, nothing beats the original Pantera, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I've seen a lot of Ramones tribute bands, and honestly, I will say my friends have an excellent band, but I would like to hear other ones. Why not? That's the whole point of being a tribute band, is that you can kind of, be paying tribute to the people who paved the way for people like other bands. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. And actually, it's funny, I don't know if you know this, but last month, I interviewed Stu Deutsch from the Plasmatics on my show. I don't know if you remember that band. I mean, you're a little older. You might remember them. They're like... I remember the Plasmatics. Yeah. So actually, it's funny. He emailed me earlier. And he's like,
wasn't that also Wendy O. Williams?
That's correct. Yes. Yep. But we all know she's no longer walking this earth, so I couldn't...
Yeah.
But, him and I became actually pretty good friends, and he actually emailed me yesterday, and he's like, are you going to the Shindig on Saturday? I said, yes. He goes, I'm going too. I'll see you there. So it's kind of cool. Actually, he lives kind of local to me, and I kind of see him around town here and there, like at bars and, events and stuff. So it's pretty neat. But, so, all right. So besides, that would be great if you can send me, some of those things. So, Armando, you're pretty quiet. What are you doing over there?
Oh, no, I'm just listening in.
Okay. So, do you guys have any upcoming shows?
We just got put on one for
What happened? You got what?
No, my son made Alexa start talking.
Oh, because I was like, what the hell was that?
Oh, yeah, I heard that too, but we're playing May 4th at a place called, I think it's the Poor Shack, which is in Keller,
near
Fort Worth. And we're playing that show with Creeper. And then, we got May 18th at a place called Diamond Gyms.
Okay.
With, hang on, let me get the list up.
You guys got a bunch of shows I saw coming up, right?
Yeah.
We're taking off for writing.
What's that?
We're taking April off to do writing.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, you gotta do stuff, right?
Things, so we can go do the things.
That's correct. Listen, I think you guys sound fantastic, by the way. My son, who's a big Pantera fan, so yesterday I said to him, oh, I'm going to send you some music. So I sent him your YouTube stuff, right? And he goes, who the fuck is this? I said, why? I said, they're coming on my show on Friday. He goes, Mom, they're fucking excellent.
Right.
So it's, and my son's a big Pantera fan. That's why I wanted him to listen to you guys, you know?
Hey, son, what's up? I know he's listening, so I have to say, hey.
Well, he's not listening. He's listening at home, but he'll be listening later. His name is Christopher. If you want to say hello to him, that's cool.
Hey, Christopher, what's up, man?
Yeah, listen, if it wasn't for me and his father, he probably would have never have been a metalhead. He probably would have turned out to be a hip-hop guy, and that's kind of what I was like.
Well, that's done right.
Exactly. Mama did a good job. You guys, I did
send you on your messenger in Facebook a link to Star Daniels.
Okay.
And I guarantee you two are like kindred spirits, I bet.
Really? Why, you want to remind you of her of something?
Yeah.
Well, when is her birthday? Maybe she's the same sign as me.
That I have no idea. I don't know her that well.
Okay, gotcha. Normally when people tell me that and I end up talking to somebody, it turns out like the birthday is like the day after mine. Okay, now you guys like a variety of bands. So which famous musicians do you admire? Is there anyone in particular that kind of like got your goat from the beginning?
Well, obviously Dimebag we all love.
Yes.
Yep. Dimebag.
Yeah.
But I like Mark Rizzo, Max Cavalera, Dino Gazzaris.
Oh yeah, Dino, I remember him. That's cool. And what about
one who really got my love for the low end, like really grabbed it? He's not playing with the band anymore, but it's Philly from Korn.
Okay, cool.
He's fucking spectacular, yeah.
Oh, and Miranda is, by the way, a part of a new group, if you would.
Oh yeah.
How would you like to tell her about this lovely set of ladies?
Well, it's a brand new group in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's just a bunch of metalhead women that will go to shows and support the local music, do promoting, help with merch, anything and everything that band might need help with. We go out and help with that, and it's a brand new thing. And we are the Feral Angels.
What do you guys call the what?
The Feral Angels.
Oh, that's pretty neat. So yeah, ferals like kind of like wild women, right? Like wildcats. But you guys
yes.
Okay. Listen, that's what. Listen, I actually was a fan of A Pale Horse Named Death, and I became their merch girl one time.
Nice.
So listen, I've worked merch for a few bands actually, friends of mine too. Yeah. So, listen, it's kind of good when you can actually go out there and you know what's interesting? They wanted to pay me, and I said, no way. I refused money from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They're like, oh, what's that?
You're doing what you love. You're having a blast at it.
I said, listen, I ain't taking no fucking money from you. I'm like, they're like, oh, I got to give you. I'm like, give me like a shirt or a CD. I don't want anything. Like, I chose to do it for you for nothing. So it wasn't. They're like, really? I'm like, keep your fucking money, dude. Like I was like, no. I mean, I sold a lot of stuff for them. The shit that they couldn't believe I actually sold. So like, But yeah, I actually work for a few bands, and I refuse to take payment. I actually work for them for nothing because I love just to, to do it. It's nice, like you're helping them, And hey,
that's why I love that they put this together. The Pharaoh Angels is a great thing for the DFW scene here. I see nothing but greatness coming from it.
I think that's fantastic. I know you guys should do. You should make some like merchandise for yourselves. This way that you could sell your own merch.
They have.
Oh, we have our own shirts. That have because we have our own
like logo on them.
But we have our own shirts, and there is discussion about getting merch to sell. But right now, we're just focused 100% on the bands.
That's cool. I mean, listen, you guys might have to make like a metal alliance for women to do that. I think that's pretty fucking awesome. Doing. I think that's awesome. I mean,
I've never had real girlfriends. All my friends have always been guys, like my whole life.
That's the same thing with me.
and I look around at this group of women, and it's like the most amazing, beautiful, sexy, badass metal fucking bitches of Fort Worth and Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I just can't believe I'm a part of it.
That's good. Listen, you know what? That's women. That's female empowerment right there.
It is. It is.
It is. That would have been great last month, or was it month of February or March when they had Female Empowerment Month, I think it was, or day or something like that. I think it was in February. Because actually there was a bunch of female women in metal that I was like put on my page for women's female empowerment, and they were like women of heavy metal. Yeah, you got to check out this woman. She's a Greek metalhead. Her name is Andri Lagiau, and she's got her own record company called, she's the CEO of Baby Mistress Records, which is kind of funny, and she wears like fetish gear and sings heavy metal on stage. She's fucking awesome.
Oh,
you gotta check her out. She's pretty, and I think she's actually planning shows. She's in Greece originally, but I think she's planning like shows like out by you guys like this coming year. So if you get a chance, go fucking see her.
Oh,
she's
wow.
Yeah, I'll keep Armando updated. I'll send you guys some stuff when I know because I saw it recently. I follow her because her publicist Raquel Figlio actually a couple of weeks ago I interviewed a band called Enemy of Fate. I don't know if you saw that on my stuff, but she's a female fronted band, as she sings, and her voice is fucking amazing. She kind of reminds me of Amy from Evanescence, and she's kind of like a nu metal band, like not NEW, it's NU metal. Like, like I had like like, oh, nu metal. I'm like, no, NU metal, like like groove metal, like not new as in shiny new FBI black shoes. It's new like regular like NU, But you could check her out if you like metal. You'll check her out. She's pretty awesome. And a lot of her songs are about female empowerment and like, mental health type stuff. But she's got great stuff. Like actually she has one fucking hell of a voice on her, that woman. I like women in metal because, back when I was a young metalhead, I think the only two women in metal was Lita Ford and Doro Pesch.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh yeah, Warlock. Oh my God. So like, those were the only two like real women in metal back in the day. Now there's like all these like bands like Ginger and don't quote me. I'm like kind of yeah. There's what was the other one you just said it was called?
Beckett Rain.
Yes, and there's another Spirit Box. So those are all like girls. Or is Spirit Box girls too, right?
Yeah, and we got some female-fronted ones in the DFW scene, like From Then On is one.
Right.
Yes.
She's badass.
You guys ever heard of...
shit, what is that one?
Oh, Deadlands?
Band, I just found them the other day with Hope Intact. That band is badass. That girl literally... decided 6 weeks before getting with this band to become a metal singer.
Really?
She's awesome.
Wow.
Now here's the thing. Some of these women though, they scream like fucking guys.
Uh-huh.
Like Arch Enemy, right? She Alyssa White Glues, or whatever the hell her name is. She sounds like a fuck. First time I ever heard her, I thought she was a man. I couldn't believe she was a woman. I was like, oh my god. Actually, when I saw Prong open for Life of Agony in January, they had Deadlands with them.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of Deadlands.
Oh, she's fucking fantastic, that woman. Yeah, Deadlands is pretty good too. I mean, I was.
If they ever come to Texas, we'd love to open for them.
I know. I'm gonna put the word in for you guys.
Thank you.
Wait, for Deadlands or for Prong?
Oh fuck yeah!
Both.
Oh god. Well, you know, Tommy just finished.
Friends, one of the bands at the same studio was they actually opened for Void and Prong, which was Born in Blood.
Yes. I know. Yeah, they just finished that tour, actually. He just came home a couple of days ago.
It's crazy how old school cats are coming back and starting touring again.
Well, Prong has actually been around a very long time, believe it or not. They first were on the scene in 1986.
I know, and then it might have just been me, but it seems like, kind of like with everybody else, they kind of just like, not really went away, but they weren't active like they used to be.
Prong's been very active. I'm actually friends with him, so that's how I know. Well, I told Armando how I know him, which is a funny story, actually. But so actually, no, they've been around for a while. They put out their last album. They put out was called State of Emergency, and it just came out actually October 6th of the 23. And then a few years before that, they had this other album called, I want to say Carved Out of Stone or something like that. And then before that, there was another. I have like pretty much all their albums. But
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're friends with them, you kind of have to.
Well, yeah, but still, but it's funny. I became friends with him after I was a fan of his. That's the interesting part. And it's kind of funny. I'll tell you how I met him if you want to know. So I would do my fetish podcast. I would dress in my dom gear. And at the time I had this submissive who was a bodybuilding cross-dresser. And we'd go to shows and I'd walk him around on a leash. And actually how I met Tommy, as I went to a Danzig show, because I'm a very big Danzig fan. And about 2017, I think it was, I went to the Danzig show, and it's a popular place in Long Island here that I go to quite a bit, called the Paramount. And they know me there, so I leave my slut by the bathroom so I can go take a piss, and I leave him sitting on this bench. And I come out, and he's like, oh, Mistress. I'm like, what? He goes, you're never going to believe this. I'm like, what? He goes, some fucking lady just gave me a backstage pass. I'm like, that fucking thing is mine. So I said, yeah. So we knew them at the Paramount. So I was wearing a PVC dress. So I stuck the backstage pass on my PVC dress. And I walked with him in there, and they're like, all right, you can both go in under one pass, because they knew us. And while we were down there, I met Tommy Victor, Steve Zing, who's actually a very good friend of mine still to the day, who still plays, and they all play in Danzig. And I met Johnny Kelly from Typo Negative, because he's the drummer for Danzig. And so I got to meet all of them, and kind of a funny story. There was this guy that I've seen at other shows, and I was like, why does this guy keep fucking staring at me? So kind of a funny story. We meet Johnny Kelly and them, and then we go back down to this room there, and we're kind of hanging out. And I told Johnny Kelly looked at me kind of funny, and he was like laughing. He's like, "Oh, where were you a couple of years ago when Peter was alive?" Like, so it was like, he's like, "Oh, he would have loved you guys." And then so it was kind of funny. So we started talking. I said, "Hey, could you do me a favor?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Can you take my slut for a walk?" So actually, I hand Johnny Kelly the leash of my slave cross-dresser, and he takes him for a fucking stroll. So it's actually a pretty funny story. And so then he comes back, and he's just like, he called him like Angry Inch or something, which was fucking hilarious.
The Angry Inch.
So we go down in the, to the main thing where you're supposed to like have the backstage pass, and Danzig wouldn't come out from his room. So we just got to hang out with like the rest of the band, and I became friends with them. So then a few months later, Prong was playing at the high-rise ballroom in the city, and I got tickets, and I went, and Tommy's like, oh, hey, look who it is. So I actually met Tommy as a dominatrix, believe it or not. And we're still friends to the day.
Nice.
So I'm friends with him and his wife and some of his sister, like his whole family, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. He's an absolute sweetheart. His sister would share stories with me how he worked at CBGB's back in the 80s and 90s before he was even famous in Prong. So, I know, a lot of stuff about him. He's a really nice guy, too. Let me tell you, he's an absolute sweetheart. His family is very nice. His wife and I are friends. So, I know a lot of people in the music industry based on I met them as Mistress Candy, which is hilarious. So, yeah, so that's... so, it's kind of... I have some interesting stories I could tell. Nothing bad or dirty, just, fun stuff, So, but yeah, that they've been around for a long time. But, maybe I think what happens is when people listen to other music, they kind of forget about the bands that they listened to initially, and you're like, oh, they put out an album? I wouldn't know that. I haven't listened to them in so long,
That's what happened.
Yeah, I get it. Look, you're mesmerized by other musicians. That's what happens, right?
Well, I know that here in the last few years, bands that I thought were just never gonna, I would never see them play, are coming back out of the woodworks. I just saw Cold Chamber play. Mudvayne, I've seen them play twice since they've been back together.
Cool.
Lita Ford, I got to see Lita Ford a few years ago.
I saw her once. She's pretty awesome.
I idolized her when I was in grade school, and I was like, what the... I never thought I'd get to see her because I thought she was done. So
what, her Kiss Me Deadly shit?
That?
Her Kiss Me Deadly song?
She has aged, but she is still a sexy fucking beast.
But look at her. She was in the Runaways when she was younger. Come on.
Yeah.
So, that's part of, pivotal American music history right there. That's... Especially for an all-girl band back in the day. They didn't really have all that,
They didn't.
So, you remember the band The Donnas? Do you remember them? They broke up, but the Donnas kind of remind me of the Runaways a little bit to some degree, I'm
not as familiar with them. I haven't really listened to them.
They were around for a while back in the, late 90s, early 2000s, but they broke up. They're not together anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You would like them. They're kind of they're an old girl band. They're I don't know if you would consider them metal, but they kind of were I want to say punk rock to some degree, maybe. Maybe some of their songs were kind of metally, maybe the early stages of metal, not so much heavy metal, but I wouldn't call them hip hop or pop. That's definitely not what they are. So, so you're Paul, the singer, right? Do you ever sing in the shower?
No.
Paul doesn't sing in the shower?
No.
Okay. I don't know. I always ask people that because a lot of musicians say they sing in their shower, they sing in the car, they sing wherever they get a chance to try to, practice as much as they can, I guess.
I sing because my radio...
My dogs would freak out if I did that.
If you sang in the shower, your dogs would freak out?
Me fucking screaming, fuck yeah. You're like, what the fuck's going on?
Your dogs ever start howling? Your dogs ever start howling when you start singing sometimes?
No, I don't have howlers.
Okay, no howlers. Okay, gotcha. No howlers. So here's a question for you guys. How do you feel the internet impacted the music business?
It took a while to adapt, but it is a better extension for especially local acts to get seen out of their cities or towns.
Yes, because you could put everything on
so
Spotify.
I believe that part of the internet to be great.
Good.
Other parts, not so much.
I know. Well, it's interesting. A lot of the bands that come on, I hear a lot from them. They say, well, it's great if they want to be heard, but then, like, you know, a lot of people really don't buy music albums anymore because you can get everything online. So I am a firm believer. I still have CDs. I will get CDs every chance I get. I'm kind of old school because I think the CDs actually support the bands or help support the bands.
Well, we actually do have song for sale on Bandcamp.com, and I believe it's Spotify, actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys are on Spotify, Bandcamp, and where else? Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and
YouTube.
Right, and then you guys have a website, right? LaceratedWithinTX.com.
We don't have the actual domain right now, no.
What do you mean, the domain?
Getting a LaceratedTX.com domain address.
Oh, no, I went to your website. It actually works, I think.
It kept saying there's a security fucking certificate problem, and I'm the one building that shit, so...
I actually went on it today. It looks really nice, by the way.
Okay, well, I need to get back on it and add more to it. I guess they updated it, because I kept bitching to the host. I was like, where's my secure certificate? Where's my and they never did it, and then I guess they did.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit. Like, once you... Like, did you guys make it and it propagated from one site to another?
No, I built it from scratch.
Okay, because sometimes when that happens, it takes a little bit. Like, it has to... Once you... I don't know who's hosting your website. I know, like, stuff about that. So, if you build it from scratch, whatever platform you used, sometimes a certificate takes a little while to kind of, like, propagate, and then it kind of, like, fixes itself.
Yeah, but I'm familiar with all that. I've actually been building websites since, like, the 90s when it started.
Oh, gotcha.
But this host was being very much unresponsive.
Oh, gotcha. Pissing me off. Gotcha. I think you should go on a WordPress. You need to
go in there and add some live song links and shit like that.
Well, if you have the information, like if you guys have like a YouTube channel, which you do, you can go into the HTML box and just upload a player from YouTube in there, can't you?
Well, it's through a link. Yeah, you put a widget into it.
Right.
And now that the good recordings on there, I wouldn't mind putting it on that.
Yeah, I mean, the one video you guys had on YouTube for the demo for Cold Dead Hands, that is much better quality than the video that you initially had on YouTube.
Well, yeah, that was a better recording, and I took more time with the actual video of it.
Right.
Because I made that video too, so I can still do better on it, but that was we need to get it up and out, so there it is.
Well, here's a question for you guys as a band. What is your favorite song to perform at any of your shows? Do you have a select few that you like to play?
Oh, that's a tough one.
For me, I guess I have favorites, but I like to play all of them.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your favorites, if you don't mind me asking?
From My Cold Dead Hands and Fuck Around and Find Out.
Oh, I love that title, Fuck Around and Find Out.
Find Out's fun, and I like Rise Up. I like the breakdown at the end of Rise Up. That's a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I listened to a few. I think I listened to Fuck Around and Find Out because I thought it was a funny title. I was like, oh, I wonder what that's... Because my father used to say that, Fuck Around and Find Out. Mm-hmm. And then from My Cold Dead Hands, of course, is an amazing song. And, so that's cool. So here's what's one message you could give to your fans? Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around, find out, keep on keeping on.
To be on a sour note, yes, fuck around and find out. To be on a good note, only you can prevent venues from closing. Support the local music scene and get your butts out to the shows.
That's correct. Honestly, I'm a big firm believer in that because you don't know how many places around the surrounding areas here had closed recently.
Yeah, that was a public service message from Smokey the fucking metalhead.
You're fucking hilarious. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like Smokey the Bear.
Exactly. Only you can prevent forest fires.
That's correct.
Closing the venues.
That's correct. I mean, listen, if you guys ever come to play in New York, they used to have St. Vitus, but they just closed down recently. And I don't understand or know why. And then I think there was another one, Arlene's Grocery. I think that closed down too. There's all these, like, you know, famous, like, show places that are, like, slowly closing down. So I'm a firm...
This economy's not helping shit, I'll tell you that.
Right, and I'm a firm believer of going to see local bands at local dive bars, because honestly, I think the dive bars are so much better than the poshy fucking bars, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, listen, what kind of... You go into a poshy restaurant, and they're, like, serving, like, you know, little fucking steaks that cost like $100, and they got these fucking like Yoko Ono fucking bands playing there. Who the fuck wants to go and listen to that shit?
Our metal scene has some good, really, really great venues around here.
Well, what do you guys have? You want to share with our listeners what they have in Texas?
Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great clubs, and luckily, the one that closed last year is coming back. The Rail will be back shortly, and that's a really great venue as well.
Okay.
That's popped our cherry.
What's that? Who popped your cherry?
Right.
That's the venue that popped our cherry.
Which one?
The Rail.
The Rail.
The one back up, yeah.
That's cool. So when did you guys first play there?
Before I was in the band, I actually recorded that show on a live stream, because that's what I was doing before I got into that.
Oh, pretty awesome. That's cool. Oh, so you were live streaming their show, and then you ended up being in their band?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty fucking awesome, actually. That's almost like
kind of fun